Are the Star Wars spin-offs canceled? And join us as we look at comics from far, far away. All that today on Chatter Squadron. Is a podcast.
It's pirates. Yar.
It's pirates. We are what we are, and what we are is a podcast of pirates.
Yar.
Yar. Hello, everybody. My name is Tyler Buck, sat across from Mike Calhoun and Jonny Troutbridge. As always, we just got back from the Comic-Con, and once again, of course, we are Chatter Squadron, your weekly dose of Star Wars fun and positivity. How are you guys? How was the con?
It was so cool.
It was a convention that I enjoyed being at. It was fun. It was a great time, actually.
It was a comic convention.
And I did buy a comic, which we'll bring up later.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We met several nice people there. I would like to give a shout out to Bud. We met Bud. We also met Zach.
You'll see them.
Yes. You'll see them in living color.
Yes. I'm perfect, yeah.
Shortly here. Do you guys ever drive like past random places on the road and you still see the signs that say they have color TV, heated and cooled rooms or whatever,
cable sometimes.
Ooh, yeah.
Like they say cable included.
I don't go in unless I see that.
The bed's made with springs.
Made with
Beds with springs. No more hay.
Oh, top of the line.
Hay has gone by the wayside here.
Or the hay side.
Oh! In my hometown, there was actually a hotel that had color TV, and it was functional. It was a functional motel for quite some time.
You're talking about Streetsboro. I know the exact place, and that's kind of what I'm referencing right now. Driving past that place all the time, seeing colored TV.
It was a glorious day when that place finally went down. In town, like the children in town, that was a talk.
They
that was a
buried
subject of talk.
They buried it?
Yeah. Well, you said went down like you destroyed it.
Yeah, it was a collective destruction.
But no, didn't they demolish it?
They did.
Yeah. Because it was like a staple of the community. I saw
staple of all the opioid addicts.
I saw in the and we'll get to the news in 1 second. But I saw
the news now.
I was in Streetsboro's City Hall, and there was a piece of that hotel in City Hall framed.
Goodness.
A piece of their tile.
Why didn't they frame like a rubber band and some needles too?
I'm
sorry.
Ooh, shots fired.
We you know what? This is Star Wars fun and positivity. Let's get to that fun and positivity.
Exactly.
What am I doing?
Jonny, what's something you like about Star Wars?
I like that sometimes
that
you don't really see them eat very often until recently.
That's a good point. They don't really eat. You've never seen anybody go to the bathroom.
No.
Well, Anakin ate a pear once, and he said he'd be very grumpy if he saw him eating that pear.
Well,
Luke and Yoda both ate a little bit.
They ate whatever the heck
there's like
Luke had.
Space trail mix.
Yeah, his weird bread banana.
Yeah.
It was like a stick of bread, but also a banana.
And Vader was enjoying a nice meal when Han and Leia interrupted it.
That's so
and
right.
had to shoot at him.
He would be honored if they would join him because he was eating alone.
Yeah, and he was shoving that food into his breath mask.
I like that he was making Boba Fett watch.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to eat this, and you're going to observe.
Here's a question. So Vader's sitting in there, and he's at that table, and he's at the front of the table. And I wonder how long he waited. Like, was Boba Fett sitting there? He's like, why are you just sitting at the front of the table?
How long?
Waiting for them to show up?
How long do you think they're going to be?
It's like 3 days.
I was going to say, I like to imagine he was there when they arrived, thinking they just, like, Lando was in on the plan, take him directly to the banquet hall.
Right.
But he let Leia change and shower. So it could have been days.
Yeah.
It could have been hours.
So he's just sitting at the front of the table.
That's what Star Wars is, man. Like,
a lot of waiting.
Weeks and years and stuff go by, and you're not even like supposed to be told that happened.
Yeah.
Like Luke was training with Yoda for like months or something like that, and it's like, oh well, it just looks like a couple side shots that we did on the.
It did look like just a matter of a few days, but. I guess what was supposed to clue us in was his tattered clothes. I don't know. It didn't help. It didn't help much.
Right. And they only had those like weird sticks things to eat, so it probably wasn't that long.
It's a swampland. Everything's going to get dirty within minutes every day.
They're probably
Where's he
eating
doing
snake
laundry?
stew.
Where are the people eating bread that you put in a bowl that just kind of expands and blows up, like in
The Force Awakens.
and also the weird milk that Luke has.
That's true. They did drink something, and I think they ate
Oh,
something.
blue milk. I forgot about blue milk.
Wow, that's a good
Oh, yeah,
point.
yeah, Uncle Owen.
Oh, you were thinking of first of the milk straight from the teat.
Yeah, that one.
Freshest.
All right, hey, you guys want to talk about some news?
Let's talk about some news.
All
There is
right.
some big news.
So there's this whole thing going around about the Star Wars movies being basically canceled or whatever. It like Calhoun, how did you say it was described to you? It first started off like a small thing.
It started off as a rumor of they might be, the side movies of Star Wars may be put on hold temporarily. And then I think within an hour, I saw another publication say, all Star Wars side movies have been canned.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Whoa.
There's no way they do this. And of course, there was no source.
Yeah.
It's just people.
This is from the Hollywood Reporter. They said they haven't slowed down development, says a source with knowledge of Lucasfilm's thinking, but they're licking their wounds. So this goes back to the whole fact that Solo wasn't a box office success. It did make its money back, more so, but compared to the other Star Wars movies, it's the lowest, one of the lowest.
Yeah, as far as margin of profit, if we're measuring that.
Exactly. So Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy had her team are regrouping and figuring out the direction of the movies beyond the final installment of the main series of Episode 9. It doesn't mean those spin-offs don't happen, says another insider. It just means they're trying to figure out how to make and market them differently. So that's, of course, talking about Boba Fett, the Boba Fett standalone, and the
Obi-Wan.
closer to being made Obi-Wan movie. So my first way in is somebody heard, oh, we're going to have to think about what we're going to do for these standalone movies, and we're going to take it slow. And somebody said, hey, they're taking it slow. And someone said, they're slowing them down. And then somebody said, oh, they're halting and then someone said, they're canning them.
Yeah.
They're canned.
There you go.
It's gone.
Right. The end. What
Giant
do you guys
game
think?
of telephone.
What do you guys think? And now we're adding to it
Yeah,
because
we
now
are.
we're saying what we're hearing.
We're
in the
trying
rumor
to
machine.
correct the machine, I would hope.
Yeah.
I think that, one, I think off the bat, they definitely should have done Solo in the winter.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's probably what they'll learn. Because it can't compete with some of the Marvel things.
And that's one of the things to learn is either start putting them all out in the winter or putting them all out in the spring. Don't do one in the winter and then one in the spring.
Because you're not going to get the same people.
Right.
There's another aspect that I keep hearing from the people that are not necessarily for these side movies. They're like, both Rogue One and Solo had just this turmoil during production,
Yeah.
so that's why they're reluctant to invest again. And I said, you're right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. That was the biggest issue for both of those films. So what would be your solution to make sure that doesn't happen again? Like, well, yeah. I'm like, then that's what they're
That's
gonna
what
do.
they're doing, yeah.
They're gonna make sure that, okay, we don't take a gamble with experimental directors next time. We won't take a gamble with trusting this person with this much. They're just going to reassess the way that they produce them. That's all.
And they've all but confirmed the fact that Rian Johnson's new trilogy and the Game of Thrones creators' new trilogy are going perfectly
Those
fine.
are completely unaffected.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are on track.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad because I know that Ron Howard put in like a lot of work into it.
Right.
Clearly.
And I feel bad that it just didn't perform. And I think it's largely was because of the timing of it, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think that's a very valid point, is the timing. I mean, I don't even know. I think it was like 4 or 5 months removed
It's
from
not enough
episode
time.
8. that's not that much time to release another film. But that being said, I think the open and shut case is we haven't seen any formal announcements from Lucasfilm. We haven't seen anybody come forward from Lucasfilm or Disney saying, yeah, this is kind of good. Like, no one's saying anything. Right now, it's just insiders say this, or at this point, to say yes or no, it's a little much.
I'd like to do a brief comparison that I just thought of.
Okay.
The DC universe is in turmoil because the movies are doing so poorly. Regardless of your opinion of what the movies are like, just like with Star Wars, regardless of your opinion, they're just looking at the numbers. And DC and Warner Brothers haven't even been like in panic mode. You'd think that a lot of comic book fanboy people would be piling onto that sort of thing.
Right.
Why are we focused on Lucasfilm and their change of business practice? These things happen all the time.
And then there's people already talking about, oh, this might make Kennedy leave.
Oh goodness.
It's like, you know how much it takes for somebody who's making hundreds of millions of dollars each year to say, you know what, good on this. Don't need hundreds of millions in my bank account.
Although if I was her, I'd probably want to leave after all those people.
But she does. She's not a public. Okay, she is in a way a public figure.
Yeah.
But her job isn't to go out into the public and address those people.
True.
And like have to.
True.
Yeah, I kind of think.
Do you really think that Kathleen Kennedy reads Twitter?
No, probably not.
You know,
No, I
like-
think she's pretty busy.
Yeah, she's a little busy.
So let's move over to something else that's different that actually Mike and I were looking at before the show, which was Han Solo's blaster was auctioned off in Las Vegas. Jonny, you did not see this. So one of the blasters from the movie was auctioned off. Jonny, how much do you think somebody paid for Han Solo's blaster?
This is from the recent film?
One of the films.
I think it was Return of the Jedi.
Oh, that one. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, oof. I'm going to go with 8,000.
$8,000.
Probably something like that.
Okay, it was $550,000.
Oh, my God. You could buy a house.
Just a little off.
You could buy a house in Las Vegas.
That's a good point.
You could start making another movie.
You could, with that much money, you could put a down payment on a house in Las Vegas.
Yeah, you
and
could.
still have to make payments.
Yeah, you still have to make some payments.
It topped the already top tier auctioned item, which was one of Luke Skywalker's lightsaber of $450,000.
Which one was that?
It's from one of the lightsabers from the first two films.
Oh, I gotcha.
Oh,
I can't believe that was sold.
somebody said the Ewok axe, one of the Ewoks axes, was auctioned for $11,000.
Jeez.
Yikes.
And let's see, while
That's
another
a passionate fan base. This belongs in our Star Wars Fanatics episode.
that's a good point. Also, another blaster from the movie got $90,000.
What blaster was that?
I don't know.
I'm not wearing a hat
Yikes.
because it is off to you Star Wars fans that are so passionate that you are pouring in your kids' college funds
Yeah.
and their kids' college funds to get in these blasters.
Well, I'm assuming the people who are buying these
I
are
know,
not people.
I know. Let's hope not.
But what about this? Last year, an R2-D2 from several Star Wars films sold for, what do you guys think it is?
$2.2 million.
No. Probably like something like, I don't know, $20,000.
It was $2.7 million. Boom.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing
Dang.
bong indeed.
That was pretty good. That was a pretty guess. Pretty good guess.
How?
I'll pat myself on the back there. All right.
Why? That's so much money.
What kind of thing? Here,
Wow.
Now, you guys can't see this. I mean, when we put this out visually, you'll be able to see. That's the exact blaster.
That's the one?
that was bought. Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
it's one of his one of Han's blasters.
Yeah.
But
Probably
yeah,
one of the.
I wonder if Harrison Ford has one.
Do you think he cares to
If he-
have one?
I don't know. If you found out that the thing you had from a movie was worth $500,000, you'd probably be like,
Not with the paycheck he got from Force Awakens.
No,
No,
yeah,
he's
he got
probably set.
what, 7 figures? No, like 8 figures.
8 figures.
But that is something. If we want to look at Lucasfilm not making too much money, they could literally start selling off just random props, being like, "This is the Buzz Droid sketch. How about $10,000?"
And people would clamor over that.
And people would be like, "Yeah, I'll take this sketch of a thing for $10,000." I don't know.
I mean,
This coffee stained
literally
first
someone
copy of the Star Wars, $40 million.
would probably sell. Yeah.
Wow, and that's just something for people to walk through some rich person's house and go, "Oh yes, and that is Han Solo's blaster from Return of the Jedi."
You would keep it in a case like the Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Hey.
Oh, Devlin,
Hey.
you've gone out. You've done yourself.
Hey, it's me. It's Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage is back.
I'm looking to get this blaster. There's something written on it. I need some lemon juice.
It just says Han Solo.
It just says prop number 64994.
That's the thing.
I gotta
Like,
get this back to the props
there are
department.
probably replicas of that prop that are
Yeah.
like more higher quality than the prop itself.
Right.
Yeah, surely. But
That prop belongs in a warehouse.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, we went to the Akron Canton Comic Con today. We'll talk a little bit about that, but we're about to go and talk about comic books now, then, and in the future. Let me just throw out there that Dennis Poribsky, Yubnub 1289, is still the Tiny King / Queen of the Tiny Chair, Tiny Victories. You can dethrone him / her by going and giving us a 5-star rating, a rating and a review on iTunes. And that helps us spread the love, spread the positivity, spread the gratuitous amounts of money that people pay for Star Wars memorabilia. So we'll be right back, and we're going to talk about comics.
Hey, it's me. It's Nicolas Cage, and I've got this thing in this tube. We gotta open it.
Oh my
Here it
God,
is.
what's in there?
Uh,
Oh, okay. Oh,
Unroll it.
my God. What is this?
It's a poster.
It's a
What's on the
poster.
back of it?
That's a Star Wars poster on the front, but what's more interesting is what's on the back. Flip it over.
What does it say?
It looks like it's like where it was made and whatnot.
Yeah, it's read it. Read it there.
It says free international shipping.
What? And what if we put some lemon juice on it? Does it say that
Yeah,
they have
squeeze-
unbeatably
squeeze some of this juice.
unbeatably low prices on wall art?
Oh my
Spritz
God,
it at
this
the
is
top.
wall art.
Spritz it at the top and read where it came from.
Oh
This says shop Star Wars online.
man, shopstarwarsonline.com. I know that place. They have free international shipping, stylistic pieces, and maybe even age-old codes to find treasure on the back of the pieces.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God,
I
what do you
bet
think
you're
the
right.
codes are?
Well, I don't know. What do you think, Nick?
Hey, I got something to tell you guys.
What's
is it?
up?
I already know what this thing says. We just got to cover it in juice.
Okay, what is this?
I
What
just
does it
wanted
say?
to come in here because it's kind of like my movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that movie I was in.
Face off.
Face off.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when we unrolled my face and we sprayed it with lemon juice, we could read my expressions. Just
yes.
like how we're going to read these great deals.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think the deals are even better because if you use promo code chatter at your checkout, you get 15% off. So, Nick, I know you're in a lot of debt.
Hang on. I'm over here on this corner. See if I...
Okay.
You can see an example of some of the art that they have on their
Oh
site.
my God, that's
Isn't it-
beautiful. Why would they have it on the back of a poster?
I don't know, but I guess people need to buy some and find out.
Yeah,
but
that's
there's
true.
it looks like there's canvas pieces. It looks like there's stylistic movie
My
posters.
favorite part is the free international shipping because sometimes I go all over the world.
Yes, you do.
To find people that will cast me.
Oh,
Wow. Well, you know what? That sounds so great. And actually, you should probably just go and try and get more casting right now.
Okay, hold on. I gotta write down this promo code so I can get this 15% off. I'm a sucker for
how do you
deals.
spell it?
It's promo code chatter.
CHATTER.
And remember, that's 15% off.
15.
Yep. And the door's right over there, Nick.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, we'll keep this poster here for you. And you know what? We should probably order some more because it's such a great deal.
It is a great
and,
deal.
you know, maybe if we keep ordering them, it'll keep Nick away somehow.
Maybe. Let's do that.
Where is Mike?
You
Can
Go.
to
the
Place.
please
don't
Tell.
anyone
about
ISIS. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chatter Squadron. Oh, man.
What?
It is hot in this studio.
It's warm. It's getting warmer.
And we're about to make it even hotter. My gosh.
You know that commercial where they're
The
like,
lightsaber was so hot. It almost cut off your arm there.
You know that commercial where they're like, oh, this is your brain on drugs?
Oh,
yeah.
That's literally what our brains are doing.
Yeah.
They're frying in a pan, downstairs in the kitchen while we are up here in the studio.
Yes, because Calhoun is on drugs.
This is our
I'm not going to deny those allegations.
Okay.
This is when we come to you, the listener, and Calhoun and say, Calhoun, you need to change your life around.
That's right. This is intervention in
Thanks,
a very
listener.
formal setting.
That touched me. That
Yeah?
touched me.
He's doing drugs. He's taking Advil. How dare you?
I did take an Advil today, and
I know. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, and according to Johnny's advice later, it was a bad decision because I did it on an empty stomach.
Yeah, don't.
Man, my stomach is really hurting. Everything else hurts. I'm going to take an Advil.
Yeah. I'm going to...
I haven't eaten in 48 hours. I guess I'll
Your lifestyle is so destructive. You're just like, my stomach hurts. I'm going to punch myself in the abdomen.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
What we're trying to say is,
And then,
you're on a downward path, and we're trying to pull you back up.
what's at the end of this path? Oh, it's a comic book.
Wow.
Wow.
Bringing
what
it on back.
a
That's
segue.
incredible. All right, so I'm going to talk about some comic books that have come out already. So when we talked about doing a whole episode on comic books, because we went to the Comic-Con, I was like, oh yeah, I've read a couple of those. And if you follow us on Instagram, you can see that I read a bunch of them. I own several. And I was like, you know what? These seem really familiar. And then I remembered when they all first started to come out, I read like every single comic book. So some of the ones that are already out and have been for a little while is they did Star Wars, which took place right after A New Hope, leading into Empire Strikes Back. They also did the Darth Vader line. They did Princess Leia. And they did Kanan, the last Padawan. And then they kind of continued with that streamline for a little while. And then I believe they also did Chewbacca.
We actually saw that specific issue. We saw issue 1, Chewbacca, at that convention today.
And then there was, I think they just...
It was really expensive, wasn't
They're
it?
either starting or about to do Lando.
Yeah, they're about.
That's been announced.
They're about to do Lando.
That is in what's today?
It is the 24th.
That is in 3 days.
Oh, that's exciting.
So when you're listening to it, that's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Well, tomorrow, go to your local comic book store. Oh, that makes perfect sense. New Comic Book Day is always a Wednesday.
Well, there you go.
Ooh, look at that. Going off of these ones that have already come out, I'll give you a quick little overview. I know they did a Poe Dameron comic as well, and several other ones around The Last Jedi, around The Force Awakens. But Star Wars, this is something that I wanted to talk about. They came out, it got transferred over to Marvel once the buyout happened from Disney. And the first one they came out with was just named Star Wars by Marvel. And something about it that was weird to me was it was a story of, I think, Han and the normal crew, Leia and Luke, and they were trying to infiltrate something. Blah blah blah. Basically, the point is, Luke and Vader fight. They have a lightsaber duel.
I saw this.
And that to me is a little iffy that they would
is.
have a duel before Empire Strikes Back. I kind of like this idea of them meeting for the first time then. But yeah, in that they do this thing where they fight each other, but that's where the seed gets planted in Darth Vader about the fact that, his last name is Skywalker, which is interesting because there's a great several panels, if you look online, of Boba Fett coming to Vader saying he couldn't find the boy who destroyed the Death Star. And he's like, well, did you find anything? And he's like, I found a name. And he's like, what is it? and he says Skywalker, and then they throw through the panels of him being told that Padme died, and as he's thinking of these memories and everything, the window in front of him is cracking more and more and more, and I believe it ends with him and like the whole room destroyed, and he just says Skywalker.
Wow,
Which
that's
is
good.
It's very powerful.
That is. It's giving me chills.
And then moving over to Kanan, the last Padawan. That was something that I really like this comic series. It basically follows Kanan from Rebels. Thank you so much. And he is being trained by Deepa Balaba in the Clone Wars. And his whole thing is he asks too many questions at the Jedi Academy, and Deepa kind of likes that. And they're fighting together in a war on some random planet with a bunch of clones. And then Order 66 happens pretty much immediately. And this is something I wanted to bring up because it was much like we talked about in the last episode, I think it was.
Yeah, about the video game.
About the video game, because that's basically what happens.
Oh, wow.
She protects Kanan from the clones.
Oh, wow.
And then he finds a way to get on a ship and fly out of there and basically becomes a pirate that way.
Wow.
So that's sort of the Kanan. And I would say...
Ooh, before we move on from the Kanan one, I want to ask some questions.
Go for it.
Did you see any sort of crossover inspiration from as far as art? Did the artists from either the show or the comic kind of like play on each other's designs?
No, there's no real connection there. Actually, you can.
What does he look like? Let me see. I'd like to see.
I mean, he's a child in it.
Of course.
That's basically how it looks.
I see.
If you, the listener, looks
like
up
this art.
Just Kanan, the last Padawan, you would be able to see. It's kind of your standard comic book art. But what I would say about this, if you want something that's kind of lightweight to get into these new comics, I think Kanan, the Last Padawan, is a great little, it's a side story. It's a smaller thing.
Has it already ended, their little series?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, they do that all the time. It's not necessarily a bad thing. I was looking through the history, of course, and I was looking at all the one-offs that they've done.
Yeah.
Dark Horse did a ton. But, yeah, it's okay for comic books to end.
Right. And so I want to get over to the history. I heard you had a crazy thing that happened when you were looking for the history of comic books and then, of course, the future with Jonny. But I wanted to touch on shortly the Darth Vader comics, because there's a big fan base for the Darth Vader comics. There's a lot of crazy things in there. There's a Mon Calamari who is mixed with basically General Grievous in those. There is...
They call it like Kalish or something. Is the name of the species?
That is the name of his species.
Yeah.
Grievous.
Yeah, but
Grievous is
this
a
is like a Mon Calamari actually mixed with General Grievous, like the robotics. Yep.
Ooh.
His name is, I believe, General Carbon. Anyway,
Okay.
so that's something you can look forward to. There's also a cool doctor. What's her name again? Dr.
Afra.
Dr. Afra, who is like partnered with Vader, and basically Vader's on his own. He's doing his own thing. Vader also has evil R2-D2 and evil C-3PO with him. He has a protocol. He has a protocol droid and an astromech with him.
Oh, wow.
And they are designed to murder. And they talk about killing people in a very
Dark humor.
comically dark, humorish type way. Like, well, if this goes down, I can just kill everybody. Yay, dismemberment, like that type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a crazy little thing. It dives into the Clone Wars. At one point, Vader goes back to Geonosis to talk to a Geonosian queen. That you originally meet in Clone Wars. So
these are already released stories?
Yep, these are released stories.
In the Vader comic?
Exactly.
This is great because this is specifically the new canon comic I wanted to read.
Yeah, so if you want something a little lightweight to start with the canon, I would say Kanan, the Last Padawan. But if you want
Kanan.
if you want to kind of get into some fun stuff. There's a lot of followers of the new Darth Vader stuff. I would say listen or read those because, yeah, they're just fun. They're funny, and they're also real dark.
In one case, the one I got you from
Yeah.
Quebec, France,
Yep.
his name is actually Dark Vador on the front.
Well, isn't
because-
it Quebec, Canada?
Did I say France?
Yes, you did.
Okay, Quebec, Canada. I don't know what I'm thinking.
I was like,
they
did
speak
they
French.
Did they finally secede? I know a lot of them wanted that.
Yeah,
They did, yes, very much so. But no, it's in Canada.
in
you're
that-
right.
Yeah, he got me the comic, like with all of them, like in a hardcover book, basically. And yeah, it's
Oh,
called
wow.
Dark Vador.
Yeah, there you go.
Vador.
That's
Dark
cool.
Vador.
Has he got some really beautiful art?
It's.
yeah.
I mean, a lot of the new art that they have in these. There was one that I read, and man, I think it's called Shattered Empire, and
Yep.
that follows Poe Dameron's parents.
Oh.
And the first one of those, wow, the art in that, the battle, the space battles, the panels in that are
Man.
amazing.
I can't even imagine trying to draw comic book art for a Star Wars
For a
story,
space battle,
space story of any kind. Ugh.
yeah.
There'd be, unfamiliar. You'd be treading on unfamiliar ground.
Exactly. So if you want to see cool art too, go check out those. But yeah, let's go. Let's dive back into the history of comics.
I'm excited for you. I actually went out to find out what people are talking about Star Wars comics in real life, like interview some people. But I wanted to get the history. That's what I wanted. I wanted the history, the rich history. Right. So I went out to a comic shop and I recorded this little session, this interview I caught, and I'll just play it for you guys. So hopefully the listener will enjoy as well.
I'm excited.
Hey guys, this is Mike Calhoun of Chatter Squadron. I'm headed into a local comic book store to see what people are saying about Star Wars comic books, old and new. So let's chat with some people, shall we?
At last! Where have you been?
Hi there, my name's Mike. I'm recording a segment for my podcast about Star Wars comic books. Are you a reader of Star Wars material?
Did you say a podcast?
Yes. Are you a podcast listener?
Here, take this and don't ask no questions.
Okay. So I was just handed a slip of paper, and it reads, "Go to the janitorial closet?" Signed, Tom Google Schwartz. P.S. I have all that juicy info on Star Wars comics. Oh, well, perfect. That's exactly what I need. I'm going to head in the direction of this janitorial closet. Oh, there it is. It's right next to this dark room. Tom Google Schwartz. That's kind of sounds like a made-up name. Oh, here it is. Hello? Oh, it smells like a swamp in here. Hello, Mr. Google Schwartz? Or Yoda, maybe? I cracked myself up.
Yeah, come into the back here.
Into the back. It's a closet. Oh, it keeps going. It's really dark in here.
Yeah, hang on, I'm changing a bulb.
Okay. Oh, that's much better. Wait, why did the sound change? Did the room get smaller?
Oh, hey, Mike, how's it going?
Wait, Ron? Ron Filtermore? Our janitor at the studio? Ron, what are you doing here?
Welcome to my secret lair. I'm glad you came.
Ron, I'm so confused. This note I got is signed Tom Google Schwartz.
Well, I had a feeling if I contacted you with my real name, you'd think someone is joshing you.
Well, maybe, but you could have just told me you read the Star Wars comic books.
I don't know. You guys seem to be disappointed that I had never seen the Star Wars movies.
Oh, that was probably just Tyler. He's always hating on people unfamiliar with movies.
Then I heard you guys trash talking New York.
Oh, that was probably Johnny. He's always hating on New York.
Then I heard that one of you was saying the cleaning staff was very handsome.
Oh, that was me.
Here, sit down, have a seat on this stack of Rob Liefeld drawings.
Oh, okay, thanks. I was looking for a way to cover those up. So when did you get your first comic book? At release?
Oh, the backstory begins a couple of years before release. I know all the scoops. Now shut up and listen. The year was 1975. Stan Lee got a phone call from Charles Lippincott, the public relations rep of Lucasfilm, with a proposal to publish a Star Wars comic book prior to the first film's release. But Stan Lee told him comic books based on movies don't sell. And he was right. But he was persuaded later by his friend and eventual successor as editor-in-chief, Roy Thomas, who showed interest in the project and wanted to be the editor. Stan agreed to a deal giving no royalties to Lucasfilm unless the sales of the book exceeded 100,000 issues, in which time new negotiations would happen, and it was official. Marvel Comics became the first publisher of the new Star Wars comic book series. Issue 1 released April 12th, 1977, 42 days before the movie's release, when the cinematic world would change forever.
Wow. Wait, before the movie even came out?
You heard right, kid. Now shut up or this'll take forever. The books were a hit. Easily cruised past 100,000 issues. The first 6 issues followed the plot of the first film. An original story wasn't told until January 1978, when issue 7 was released. The books were so popular that they were determined to be responsible for Marvel's survival between 1977 and 1978. The books went on to 107 installments until 1986, including a 6-part issue on The Empire Strikes Back, as well as a 4-part special edition on The Return of the Jedi. They had 2 books of illustrations, and in 1986, droids and Ewok cartoon tie-ins were made, ending with a history of 4 different writers and 7 artists. Then, in the late 80s, Epic Comics, a Marvel derivative, was supposed to release a Star Wars comic, but Archie Goodwin, one of the first writers on Star Wars, left Marvel and they dropped the project. Then, Dark Horse Comics took on the series and titled it Dark Empire. It ran for 4 years. With its success, Dark Horse opened the floodgates and commissioned tons of Star Wars stories set directly following the original trilogy. There was Tales of the Jedi, X-Wing Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Republic, Star Wars Tales, Star Wars Empire, and Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh my god, you have them all here. Oh man, I bet my friend Jonny would really like this series.
Would he also like you to pipe down and not interrupt me?
Oh yeah, I guess. Sorry.
A lot of the more popular series ended in 2010. But there were tons of miniseries and 4-issue specials, as well as unique, never-before-imagined ideas that were published way later, like a manga of the original trilogy and The Phantom Menace, a 4-part series on General Grievous, a series called Dark Times, showing characters of a previous Dark Horse series reacting to Order 66, and then they had Star Wars Invasion, which displayed the early days of the Yuuzhan Vong War.
Oh my god, I just can't get away from references to the Yuuzhan Vong.
What's wrong with the Yuuzhan Vong?
Everything!
And Dark Horse did this thing called The Star Wars, a series based on George Lucas's first draft. But the final series actually ended in May 2014, after it was announced that in January of that year that the Star Wars comic license would return to Marvel, who is now Disney, and announced that in April all the novels and comics would be rebranded as non-canon, or Legends.
I can't help but feel a little sad about those writers.
Yeah, pull one out for the old comics and novels.
Oh, Ron, I don't think you can actually have liquor in here.
Timeless stories that could never be described as contradictory, slow, or cliche.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But then began the modern age, as I like to call it. It began with rumors that Marvel would launch 2 original titles in 2015, but just months after acquiring the license, they announced 3 titles: Star Wars, Darth Vader, and Princess Leia. Isn't she a doll? But now we have loads of limited series like Kanan, Lando, Shattered Empire, Chewbacca, and they did a one-shot on C-3PO, believe it or not.
Oh, I wonder what that's like. We love C-3PO on this show.
I have no clue. I'm not a fan of C-3PO. He squeaks every time I think he needs some oil. No one fixes him. Moving on.
Well, Ron, that was a more comprehensive history of Star Wars comics than I ever imagined hearing from a guy that cleans up my podcast studio.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, with that, I'll send us back to the studio, guys. Wait, Ron, how do I get out of here?
Over here, there's a back entrance.
Goodness gracious.
Great
that
pulsifier.
That was a crazy interview you pulled off, Calhoun.
I did pull it off, and it was me that pulled it off.
Who would have thought Ron?
I know. He was cracking me up too. I can't believe he knows so much.
Right.
But he's never
seen the movies. And the craziest thing is Ron has always not laughed at any of our jokes about Star Wars, yet he knows the characters. You know what? I just think he doesn't have a sense of humor.
I think he's got the best sense of humor.
But he did say that he spends a lot of time cleaning. So if he's not laughing at our jokes, we just have to trust that he's just concentrating on cleaning.
I should probably stop flicking these boogers, and maybe he'll have a second to watch one of the new movies. Okay, well, that was an amazing correspondence you did there.
Thank you. That's the best investigative journalism you'll ever hear from me.
What, ever?
Ever.
You're canceling all other investigation journalism.
Yeah, because it won't live up to that. It won't live up to
That's a
that
good point.
gold.
All right,
Probably right.
Johnny, do you want to take us into the future of Star Wars?
I will take you into the
Let
future.
me strap in.
Ugh, that's
Wait,
not the type
how
of
do you have
strap
so
in.
many? How do you? He has a bunch of straps over there, yet I have none.
We're going on school bus rules for you over there.
Magic school bus?
Can we talk about for a second school buses that don't have seat
Why are they
belts?
yellow? I agree. Oh, let's move on.
They're just warning you.
They're
We don't
warning
have
you.
any seatbelts.
It's caution.
Come on in, I dare ya.
Caution. We're buses.
Does any other yellow vehicle not have seat belts? Is
Yeah.
that the case?
Yeah.
Some taxis
Honda
might not have.
Honda Accords
Yellow Honda Accords.
don't have seatbelts.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I know. All right. As far as I have to do a little correction, the Lando comic book has already come out. The first issue. The part 2 is the 27th
Gotcha.
of June.
You dirty liar.
Can you
I'm
tell
a
us when the
dirty
first
one.
one came out? Or is that unknown knowledge?
I don't know at the moment.
That's okay.
It's
That's
not,
perfectly-
it probably
it's not
came
that
out
important.
right around Solo.
All right.
Yeah.
If they were smart.
And if it's a monthly series, then it came out last month.
There you go. There are a lot of them coming out in the next. This is just this year. There's 36. So I'm just gonna get some of the highlights here. We got Last Jedi adaptations are gonna be finishing up this year.
The adaptation.
Yeah, the adaptation.
Have they done that for The Force Awakens then?
I believe so. Yes.
The entire film?
They did that, and then the Rogue One hardback is coming out July 10th. So that's that adaptation. So they did a Rogue One as comic book, and
That seems
now
cool.
the hardback's coming out.
Finally. I can't hold paperbacks. I just seem to rip them.
Just immediately.
Yeah, I
you
just am-
hold it in your hand. And you just have to rip it.
I
in
like to
half.
have a good grip on my books. So the words will stop moving around the page for me.
Yeah. Otherwise, something.
I love hardbacks. Hardbacks are my go-to.
Yeah. You know, I'll get you a couple.
No. All right. So, Dr. Aphra, that one is continuing. I think there is one.
You were giving me a little bit of a rundown on Dr. Aphra. Can you give us, without spoiling too much,
That's what I
give the
don't want to
listener.
give it away.
I want to hear a little bit of a tease on each of these because I heard one from Dark Horse that I would like to go back and read, but canon ones interest me most.
Right.
And this Dr. Aphra one was
All right.
particularly interesting.
Here's one that's coming out on the 27th. This is Dr. Aphra, The Catastrophe Con, Part 2. Dr. Aphra may be in Imperial prison, but she's certainly not alone. Rumors have it that these bars are haunted, but this rogue archaeologist knows there's something more valuable going on. Meanwhile, Aphra's got information the rebellion wants. But how far are they willing to go, and who are they willing to recruit in order to get it? Okay, yeah, that's so
Wow.
that's
That kinda
coming out.
Drum track.
That kind of sounds like a random throwaway, like female-led blockbuster movie.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
random archaeologist is in a haunted prison.
Yeah, it's a little. It kind of reminds me of Rogue One, but less stakes, I guess. You know, I don't know what the
because
stakes
the
are.
rebels are going and trying to get her,
her.
basically.
I was gonna say fewer steaks because there's no one was cooking a cow.
Yeah, there's
in that.
not-
At least you didn't
no
mention it.
steaks.
There's no
She is a
ribeye.
doctor. She might be a
All
veterinarian.
right, this one they say is kind of a spoiler. There is a new series coming out called Hope Dies.
Ooh.
Oh my lord!
have
Is
my
this a
attention.
hardcore album or what?
Yes, it is.
Where hope dies.
Hey, we're Hope Dies, and we're here to. I gotta go.
This, this one apparently takes place right after New Hope, and it's as Empire Strikes Back starts up. So it's like, I guess, a bunch. So should I read the summary? I don't know if it'll give too much away, but I can.
Give us the summary.
Read the
Summary is,
submarine.
in this issue, ... Hope dies.
Hope Dies.
Yeah, there you go. The Rebel fleet is completed.
That rebel freak.
That rebel freak.
You rebel freak.
The Rebel fleet.
Welcome.
Okay,
We're Hope Dies, a bunch of rebel freaks from Akron, Ohio.
that's right. By the way, this one's coming out July 4th, so this is the most American one there will be.
Nice. Hope dies
yeah,
on
Hope-
July 4th. That should be their
Anyway.
big banner. You know what I mean.
That's called a Freudian slip, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the Rebel fleet is completed. It's magnificent. It's beautiful. It's secret. But no secret is kept long from Darth Vader. The most epic story yet done in Star Wars comic book begins here. Prepare to witness the Empire truly strike back. So it's basically
Ooh, okay.
Empire Strikes Back, but I'm guessing they're going to do like stuff you don't see in the movie.
Ooh.
So that's interesting. That's a
Maybe
one-
we'll see the inside view of the carbonite. It's
Yes,
just real dark.
that's the rest of it. That's
But-
just the whole thing. You just see it's like several panels of you looking at the inside of Boba Fett's ship.
That should be the next solo.
By the way, Hope Dies is the band who plays our intro theme. We're Hope Dies, and we play this one song.
That's right.
Thank you, by the way, Hope dies.
Yeah.
We love that song.
There's more Darth Vader coming out. We got Dark Lords of the Sith, and another one called, where is it? Fortress Vader.
Can you tell me some details about the spin-off Darth Vaders? Are they completely separate from the Star Wars Darth Vader series?
This one is interesting. I don't know as far as
This
how-
one being Dark Lord of the Sith.
This one's called Dark Lord of the Sith 18. Got a little interesting. I'll read the summary because this one what really sparked my interest. It is time for Grand Moff Tarkin to repay a long-standing debt to Darth Vader, and settling what is owed will require every last bit of his cunning, and will cost more than he ever imagined. And like the image is Tarkin hiding from Vader with a pistol in his hand. So kind of
Tarkin with a
interesting.
pistol in his hand.
Yeah, Tarkin. or Vader with a pistol.
I love Tarkin. You guys like Tarkin too,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I love
Tarkin's awesome.
And his grandma sends me cards
what a
for every
sweetheart.
holiday.
Grandma Tarkin.
Grandma Tarkin,
She's
yeah.
a sweetheart.
I'm excited for the card she's going to send me for my birthday on July 3rd.
She sent you a birthday.
She hasn't yet, but she sent me for Easter, for Flag Day,
Oh,
for
I love
Juneteenth.
Flag Day.
Yeah.
Oh man.
All right. We have another Thrawn book coming out. This is part 4. Boom. Yeah, this one's coming out this year.
I love. That's what I wanted to get at first. Grand Moff Tarkin in the Thrawn books, great. So written so well. So I hope that they do him justice
And
in this.
in the first Thrawn book, canon Thrawn book, they really show that Tarkin is like
ruthless.
Yes, but also the tippity top. If you want to be anybody in the Empire, you need to be on his radar, on Tarkin's radar.
And you have to be
Okay.
on his good side. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you're dead.
Yeah, and
point.
we kind of see that happen. Yep.
That Thrawn one's coming out July 11th. And the one with the Tarkin one's also July 11th.
I'll have to text Grandma Tarkin and tell her how proud she should be.
That's right.
Of her son's
of her
accomplishment.
son,
a little
yeah.
boy.
Or her grandson.
obviously.
Yeah, what am I thinking?
Of her son's accomplishments for having a
Having
son.
a great son.
We also have a new
I
one.
wish my grandparents would congratulate my parents on just having me. And
they
how,
don't?
How great I am.
Right, whenever we put out an episode, they should be getting a text saying, I see that your son has put out an episode.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Tell him
what's
he's
going
doing
on with
great.
All right, so there is another one coming out called Star Wars Adventures Volume 3 Endangered. And this one's geared more towards the younger audience, or as they put it, the next generation of comic book fans.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Some very well marketed
What
content.
makes it for the next generation? If you could, if
the
you could.
art style, and
Okay.
I'm guessing the language of it, and there won't be like any adult material, is what I'm assuming.
blood,
Yeah.
violence,
And this one
Star Wars,
looks like it's based around
Banners.
Last Jedi.
spaceships, space in general.
No Nazi propaganda.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
that's
would-
great.
Yeah,
Can't put that in there.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that in there.
Also, a hardcover collection of the Captain Phasma stuff is coming
Oh,
out, so that's kind of cool. Those are both the Endangered and the Phasma ones are both July 17th. Those ones are really cool. There's another Poe Dameron one coming out.
Poe Dameron.
Exactly. That's July 18th.
Oh, there is a bunch coming out in July.
Yeah, it's gonna be a happy
yes.
birthday month for a couple of people in this
And
studio.
here's the one. Here's the
Just
the-
a couple.
The big Kahuna of the one. Also, that Lando ones. There's going to be several. I think they're going up to 4 this year. Yeah, on August 29th, the Lando, the 4th one comes out. I think.
Is there any particular one that caught your eye when you were going through your list?
Oh,
You're like,
they're
I
cool.
need this
They're
one.
all cool. I liked the first one was really cool. It kind of seemed like it, or the part 2 when I looked like. I'll read it. to
Oh,
you.
you're talking about Lando specifically, the first Lando. I was asking just in general if one particular caught your eye.
Yes. This,
Was it Lando?
It was
Is it
some-
because on
it
the
was
cover he's crying?
yes, he's crying just like.
Is
I
he
predicted.
really?
No, he's not.
You guys got me. I mean, anything's possible at this point. Since Johnny guessed correctly that he had a crying scene, I was like,
know.
anything.
I don't know how I did that, honestly.
He holds a lightsaber next time. Who knows?
While you're looking at your stuff, Johnny, there's a scene from Community, a very famous GIFable scene where a living room is on fire and Donald Glover comes back into the living room with a pizza, a box of pizza.
Yes, I do remember this.
And people have drawn the parallels, which I hope is a callback to that. When Lando in Solo comes into that common room of the Falcon and everything is on fire, and they do like a shot of him just standing there looking at it all on fire. It's just like in Community.
They knew the whole time.
when he looks at everybody on fire.
That's brilliant. I gotta look this up now.
Yeah, I
You
hope.
guys show me after the
I
show.
really hope it is like a little
Donald
callback.
Glover's like pushing for that scene.
Because that's
Maybe.
probably in the script, and it's like, all right, and then Lando, comes in or whatever, and maybe some random person's like, in Community, it did
It could have been like the camera operator or the director of photography was just like, well, we're going to set up the camera like this because I want to.
Yeah. Let's get a shot of Lando looking around, and then he goes to Donald. He's like, hey, Donald, you remember that scene? And Donald's like, give me a second. I'm trying to upload This Is America to my social media.
They're all mixing. All right, there's 3 ones that I wanted to touch on. The rest of the year is continuations of Dr. Aphra, that Hope Dies one we were talking about, and the Lando, and the Poe Dameron. Those are repeated. Oh, and the Last Jedi adaptation. But one that I'm really excited about is they are doing a trade paperback of the original Marvel years. So the first one's like the one you got today. They're doing a re-release of those on July 30th.
Number 7, like
So
Ron told us.
Those are all coming out. They are also doing a Beckett one.
Whoa, I'm
which-
excited about that.
That's the one I was like,
You know,
oh,
We
that'll
think
be
we
cool.
know what we might see.
My wife and I, driving home, she was saying something about, like, I would like to see more about Beckett. And I'm like, I would too, but he's kind of almost like only a comic book character. You can't, like, make a whole book about them or anything. You know what I mean? And then, they announced pretty quickly that he has his own comic book series.
All right, I will read it to you. This one also comes out. This one comes out August 15th.
And this will be the last thing because we need to go to the people and what they think is their favorite comic
All right,
book.
I'll read this for you real quick. Tobias Beckett taught Han Solo everything he knows about surviving hoodlum-filled cantinas and backwater worlds. But who is this career outlaw? And why is Enfys Nest, one of the galaxy's most dangerous and brutal marauders, so dead set on taking him down once and for all? Find out in his original tale of a man who has gained the star system, gained star system after star system, but at a cost that no heist can make up for. And so that's what it goes.
So it's another heist.
I
mean, we know what he is.
it's gonna
He's a
be
smuggler. he's a heist guy.
Right.
There will be heists, but
Oh, you're one of those heist guys, ain't you?
Oh my gosh,
Oh, of course
Ron.
not. I would never heist. This is a heist. I hope that's what issue 1 is like. He does his
that's what
first
it is.
heist.
You know, but going back to the history of Star Wars, I don't know if we fully mentioned, Calhoun, that you got at the Comic-Con issue number 7.
Issue number 7, the first original story ever
After-
released by Marvel. Because the first 6 issues that we heard from Ron, were just the retelling of New Hope.
Yeah.
So this is actually, I mean, the listener can, or the viewer can see it, but I'll describe it to the listener. I bought, it's just called Star Wars. But on the cover we have Han and Chewie, and my favorite part, actually, I pointed it out to Tyler,
Yeah.
is that Han, actually no, I have 2 favorite parts. On it, Han is carrying a blaster, but it's just a sci-fi looking like revolver
Yeah.
type.
Not a blaster that someone would pay $500,000 for.
Right. Vaguely like his gun. Not
It's
really.
just- it's a pistol.
It's just a space pistol. Chewie looks real real mean.
He's just a blob of black and
and brown. And then, but on it as well is a paper wanted poster that says "wanted dead or alive," and it's just it's just like it's out of the West.
Han and Chewie
Solo
on it.
and Chewbacca the Wookiee reward, and
there's no reward.
it's great.
It just says reward.
I love it.
There's some type of award.
The
A back massage.
in 78 in January 78 when this was released, it sold for 35 cents.
And then what is Han saying to Chewie?
Han right here is like, grab a laser gun, Chewie. They've got us surrounded, and he's shooting.
Which
from
is like the most. Wait, does Chewie already have a gun?
Chewie. No, he's actually holding 2 aliens. One looks kind of like a Rhodian, but he's not. And then the other one is another very reptilian-looking,
Like a starfish.
very 70s movie monster-looking creatures.
The other one looks like the creature of the Black Lagoon if he took a bath. Like a bath with soap.
Wiped away all that Black Lagoon.
Coral
He's
Lagoon.
just the creature.
He's the coral king. Looks like a piece of coral.
But the subtitle for this one is All New Han Solo and Chewbacca on a world the law forgot. And it actually doesn't look like much of a world. It kind of looks like
They're on the surface of the moon.
a moon. The sky kind of doesn't end. There's like a planet right over top of them. But to be honest, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And we're happy to put it in our collection, actually.
So I can't wait for a lot of these new comics because I'm not a reader, but comics are I'm able to absorb them pretty well. I don't know. I think the Beckett one is something I will read
Yeah, that
and
sounds cool.
talk about more. I mean, I've read several books actually that we haven't even talked about on the show, as well as I've read The Last Shot, the entirety of the Han Solo book, and we haven't even talked about it yet. So there's possibilities for us to do those things and follow up with a lot of these new comics that are coming out soon.
We heard about this in the segment that I recorded with Ron, of course.
Tom Google Schwartz.
Yeah, Tom, which we found out who that was. There's a Dark Horse series that I actually want to track down and read very badly about an Imperial CIA equivalent agent, basically.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And it's just written from his perspective, and he's trying to get information from the rebels. So it's kind of a flip-flop. One of the first Dark Horse series that they had ever made, and that seemed very interesting. If you're looking for non-canon stuff, that's the sort of thing I'm leaning towards.
All right. Well, let's dive into that. I didn't even get to talk about all the old comics I listened to, like Exar Kun and all those things.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, that's something. If you want to listen to this and talk to us about your favorite comics, go for it, man. And speaking of that, we're going to talk about the ones that you've talked about. Wow.
Your favorites.
This is the greatest segue I've ever done into our last segment. Right, guys?
Yep.
It's the best, Tyler.
Right, guys? Right? Hey, guys.
What?
Guys, I need your help down here.
Johnny, get over here. Tyler says he needs help.
I can't help him. He
What?
fell. He has to work this out himself.
Guys,
What do you need help with?
I need your help by following Chatter Squadron on Instagram at Chatter Squadron, all one word.
Oh, on Instagram?
Is there anything else we can do for you?
Yes, get a splint from my leg.
No,
I think it's broken.
in relations to social media.
I have this bone. I can just give you a new bone.
Yeah, if you could come down and give me this new bone and also give us a follow on
Facebook.
On
Facebook page. Yeah, sorry, I'm losing a lot of blood.
Yeah, you
right
look
now.
like you're
the name of
bleeding
the
out.
Facebook page?
You're getting real pale. I bet we could probably go to iTunes, rate and subscribe to the show.
Should we give it 5 stars?
We should definitely give it 5 stars. That might help Tyler.
Yeah, give it 5 stars and say, put that bone in, Calhoun.
Let's not say that. Don't say put that bone in Calhoun because some people might get the wrong idea.
That wasn't for them to say.
I think Tyler's losing it. Johnny, can you come hold his legs together?
Oh, the Facebook page is Chatter Squadron Podcast. Join our discussion there.
You rest now, sweet prince.
I think I'm going.
Let's go to this
sleep.
cave.
This isn't a cave. This is my bathroom. I slipped.
Carry on my wayward.
I'm down with that.
There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more. Oh!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chatter Squadron. What was the name of the band that did our intro song?
Hope dies.
Hope Dies.
Hope Dies.
That they also do a great cover of that song.
Oh, Carry On, My Wayward
Yeah, if you ever go see a Hope Dies concert, they do a
Buying my
great
tickets right now.
Carry On, My Wayward Son. I asked the question, what is your favorite Star Wars comic book? Let's look at Craig T. Bryant, who says, the Poe Dameron series is definitely my favorite. It made me appreciate the character a whole lot more, and because I understood him and a lot of his lines in The Last Jedi made sense to me.
Well, there you go. There's more coming out.
Yeah. Finished Steven. Do you have that?
I'm bringing up the Facebook.
Oh,
I
thank
believe
you.
you have the Instagram.
Perfect. Finished Steven says, I Jedi is up there for me. Dark Tide 1 and 2 are great as well.
Yeah, I heard about iJedi.
What is iJedi? Could you tell me a little
I
bit?
don't remember much
Oh, you
about it.
just
I
heard
just
of
remember
it?
it's a series.
I don't remember.
It's I, Jedi or something.
Yes, it is.
Is it like iCarly? Is it a spin-off
It's
of iCarly?
like iCarly, yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
So they start a web show as Jedi.
Yes.
A hollow show.
A hollow.
a hollow show
After they read the hollow newspaper.
and play space chess.
That's right.
Chris, so this is over on Star Wars News, our friends over there. Christopher, oh, wow. And I just closed out of everything.
It's okay. I can carry on.
My Wayward Son.
First comment is from Robert Huff. He says, Tag and Bink.
Oh, Tag and Bink is great.
Tell me all about it. I
They
don't
were
know
cut out. They were cut out of Solo.
Yeah. They were going to be in there?
Yes,
Oh,
they were
that's-
shot.
I don't know if that's...
Tag and Bink it was from Dark Horse, and it was a parody Star Wars comics where they happen, any plot hole in Star Wars is because of Tag and Bink.
Yes. They
Wait. Any plot hole is because of them.
Yep.
Anything that happened that you're like, well, how could that happen? They did it.
They were the ones
So
who
it's
did
like
it.
they made the Death Star hole that only was that wide.
I believe so, yeah.
And there was a bunch of stuff, like all of the things that you're like, wait, a second, that doesn't make sense. They did it.
Were they like rapscallion teens? Or
They were just like
They were just-
bumbling people that just happened to cause everything to happen.
Yep.
Were they humanoid?
They were
humans?
humans.
They
Yeah.
were the people that didn't shoot the escape pod when it was leaving. They were like, I don't want to shoot it. You shoot it. And it was like,
How did they get around? Were they working for the Empire? They were just
They
there.
were stormtroopers.
No, well, they were rebels, and they were trying to get their way back to the rebellion, and in that search is how they were there for every single
That's
thing.
Okay.
great. What a great
Um,
choice.
Anyway, Christopher S. Farrell says, for me, this is something resembling a silly question. Me being such a great fan of Star Wars books, I can only come to one conclusion. My answer is all of them.
Whoa.
I like this
Whoa.
person's enthusiasm.
Yes.
Next one for me is Barry Groman. He says the Dark Empire trilogy.
It's so dark.
So if it's a trilogy, then it's
Ooh.
short, and I
There should be
Yeah.
4 of them.
definitely willing to.
Richard Winterburn also says Dark Empire 1 through 3. Richard Winterburn. What a great last name.
Yeah,
Are you
you
the
should start a
lord of a
gum
castle?
He has multiple dungeons.
Yes.
Lord Winterburn.
Hoist the sail. That's a pirate. I don't know what I'm thinking.
Have you ever hoisted a sail on a mansion?
Yes.
You'd be surprised at what happens.
Not easy.
Let's see.
His castles float away. That's right.
Nicholas Tate says Crimson Empire
got
in
another-
Legends universe, and now Darth Maul in the canon comics.
Nice.
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 That was something I found slightly confusing, or for the future, I thought it might be confusing. The new Marvel canon Darth Maul is just titled Darth Maul, and that's exactly what Dark Horse's line was called. Dark Horse had 2 lines of Darth Maul, and they're both apparently superb. So that's a suggestion for Legends. If anyone wants some more Maul,
Everyone
or if
does.
you want a lot of Maul, go back to our previous episode.
And if you want a whole heck of a lot of mall, go to a mall. Chris.
Oh
Or
man, I can't believe we
go
let him
back-
get away with that.
Go back to 1300s and use a mall as a knight. Okay, whatever. Move on.
Wow. All right. Chris Peacock says, had OG Empire Strike Back comic book when I was a kid. So he had an OG one. So an original gangster Empire Strikes Back comic
right.
book. Peter Smart says Star Wars Legacy. And you know, he's pretty smart, so you should probably read what he says. Is that a baby? I gotta
It's
go
a laughing
check.
baby.
Wow,
he got a
that's
good laugh, baby. Man, he got from one of our in-studio audience babies. He got a laugh out of one of them. I got another one.
You know, we have an audience of babies, and we're preparing for us to have a full-grown audience by episode 365.
That's
Just
1 year.
We're letting them develop.
That's one. Yeah. All right. Do you have any?
I got a couple more. I got one from Tommy Puig. He says right now the new Darth Vader canon comics are pretty good.
Pretty
you know
good.
what, Tommy? That's a pretty low key review. But man, I'll tell you what. If I wasn't convinced, I wouldn't be mentioning it.
They're pretty good.
They're pretty good.
Dylan Evans says Dark Empire 1 and 2. A lot of good Dark Empire.
That's good to know. I like that we do this because then it makes me have an idea of what I should choose to read.
Yeah.
Right.
Or check out. You know, video games.
Finally, someone tells me what to do.
Tell me. Last one from Larry Courtney. Tales from Jabba's.
I haven't heard of that.
Me either. And now I really want to investigate.
It sounds like
Is this made up?
random stories like, yeah, one time someone came in and he drank a little too much Jawa juice and got a little too crazy.
And then he never mind.
Whoa!
I
think Johnny is going downhill.
Going crazy.
Too many babies in here.
I get nervous in front of baby.
Yeah, you get stage fright.
Here's my
baby stage.
Here's my final one. Kyle Johnson Payne. Wow. He says the Kanan comics. That rolls it back around to
Yeah, there you go.
me saying you should check out those. I keep saying listen. The only thing
You
you
did
should
say
be
listen
listening.
a couple times, and I let the listener just accept.
The only thing you should be listening to is this podcast.
That's right.
And as he leans back because he has nothing left to say, hey, I mean, yeah,
There's
that wraps
nothing-
up the episode. Oh, he's
There's
back.
nothing else you need to listen to other than this Well, you're listening to this podcast.
I think the heat is getting really intense in this
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
We're having a little bit of communication breakdown from all of us. Comic books. Do you have a specific one that you're gonna you look into next? Specific. Give me one. Give me one.
Beckett.
Beckett. Oh, I think you might have stolen Tyler's. He wanted.
I mean, I can say Beckett as well.
No, you can't.
How dare you? You're not allowed in this
You-
game. You
Well,
loser.
numbskull.
It'll probably be the Thrawns.
Thrawn. I'm looking more forward to the actual novel of Thrawn. I think I want to evade the comic books for now.
Evade.
in case they get too close.
Are they getting thrown at you?
I'm going with the Lando ones. I think I actually might track down that
Oh, yeah,
first
that
one
would
since
be-
it's already out, and then
Especially since no one's throwing any Lando comics at you.
You can't evade them if they're not being thrown.
Whoa. Oh, actually, he's evading them now.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well.
Well, we're not going to be evading our next episode.
how would
know.
we do that? How would we evade it? The listener shouldn't.
If you know what, if you guys tune in next week and it's just silent,
Then we did evade it.
then we evaded it somehow, some way. All right, well, we're going to get out of this heat, maybe take a cold shower to bring down our body temperature.
Together. Wait, couldn't have done this one at a time?
Oh.
We're doomed.